What if I told you that right now, someone somewhere is being manipulated into handing over their life savings to a complete stranger? And what's even more shocking is that the victim thinks they're helping a trusted friend or family member. This isn't just about obvious email scams from foreign princes. This is about sophisticated psychological manipulation that can fool even the smartest people. You can't literally see the future, but you absolutely can predict and prevent manipulation by learning to think like a detective. Today, we're going to decode the playbook that gaslighters and scammers use, and more importantly, we're going to arm you with the tools to stop them cold. Let's start with the harsh reality. Gaslighting isn't just something that happens in toxic relationships. It's a weapon used by financial predators every single day. They don't just want your money. They want to make you doubt your own judgment so completely that you'll hand it over willingly. The first pattern you need to recognize is rapid timeline pressure. Listen for phrases like, "Do it now or you'll lose everything," or "This opportunity expires in 1 hour." Legitimate financial opportunities don't evaporate in minutes. Banks don't call you at midnight demanding immediate wire transfers. Government agencies don't threaten arrest unless you pay with gift cards right now. When someone creates artificial urgency, they're trying to bypass your rational thinking. Here's what's really insidious about this tactic. They're not just rushing you. They're making you feel like the consequences of waiting are catastrophic. Your account will be closed, your benefits will be cancelled, your loved one will be in danger. This emotional manipulation short-circuits your ability to think clearly. The second major red flag is isolation. They'll tell you to keep the request secret. Don't tell your spouse about this investment opportunity. Your family won't understand this legal situation. The bank said not to discuss this with anyone. Real professionals never ask you to hide legitimate transactions from the people who care about you. Why do they do this? Because they know that the moment you talk to someone else, their spell breaks. A fresh perspective can instantly spot what you've been manipulated into missing. They need you isolated and dependent on their version of reality. The third pattern is the shifting story. Pay attention when details change every time you ask questions. First, they need money for legal fees, then it's for medical expenses, then it's for travel costs. Legitimate requests have consistent, verifiable details. Scammers improvise, and improvisation leads to contradictions. Watch for blame flipping too. When you hesitate or ask questions, they make you the problem. "Why don't you trust me? I thought we were closer than this. Everyone else would help without questioning." This isn't about trust. This is about manipulation. Your caution isn't betrayal, it's wisdom. Another sophisticated tactic is false authority combined with urgency. "My lawyer said we need to move fast. The bank manager told me this has to happen today. The government office said they're closing your case." Notice how you can never verify these claims directly. The lawyer is always in court. The bank manager just left for vacation. The government office doesn't take calls. Now let's talk about the specific requests that should trigger your highest alert level. Any request involving money transfers, especially wire transfers or cryptocurrency. Requests to open new accounts in your name. Pressure to sign over funds or property. Demands for passwords or account access. Requests to hold money for someone else, even temporarily. If you see 2 or more of these patterns together, you're dealing with a high-risk situation. But here's the good news. You can build a fortress of protection around yourself that makes you nearly impossible to manipulate. Start with the 2-person rule. Any unusual financial move requires at least one trusted second opinion. This could be your spouse, a close friend, your financial advisor, or your lawyer. The key is choosing someone who has your best interests at heart and isn't easily manipulated themselves. Implement a freeze policy for money and credentials. Decide right now, while you're thinking clearly, that you will never transfer more than a specific amount or share login information without written verification and a 48-hour cooling-off period. Write this down. Make it your personal law. When pressure hits, you'll have a predetermined response. Limit authority ruthlessly. Never give anyone remote access to your financial accounts, passwords, or files. Never give anyone the ability to sign transactions on your behalf, unless it's through proper legal channels with appropriate oversight. This includes family members, romantic partners, and supposed professionals. Create verification steps for any unusual request. Get it in writing, not just verbal promises. Verify identity through a known phone number or in-person meeting, not through contact information they provide. Confirm with a trusted third party who can look at the situation objectively. Document everything obsessively. Save emails, take screenshots, keep transaction confirmations, make PDFs of important communications. If something goes wrong, this documentation could save you legally and financially. If someone pressures you not to keep records, that's a massive red flag. Here's a practical tip that could save you thousands. Create a do not transfer template that you keep in your phone or wallet. When you're under pressure, pull it out and read it. It should remind you of your rules and give you phrases to use. Something like, "I need 48 hours to verify this with my advisor," or "I'll need written confirmation before proceeding." Prepare specific responses for common scenarios. If a family member calls asking for money, have a standard response ready. "I care about you, but I need to verify this situation independently before I can help." If a coworker asks to use your credentials or accounts, company policy requires me to check with management first. Recognize that gaslighters escalate when their initial tactics don't work. They might become angry, desperate, or even threatening. They might bring in additional people to pressure you. They might create fake evidence or forge documents. The more resistance you show, the more creative they become. This escalation isn't a sign that you should give in. It's confirmation that you're right to resist. Understand the psychology of why people fall for these tactics. It's not about intelligence. Smart people get scammed every day. It's about emotional manipulation, stress, and the basic human desire to help others and avoid conflict. Scammers are experts at exploiting these natural human tendencies. Remember that legitimate requests can wait for verification. Real emergencies have verifiable details and multiple ways to confirm them. Real professionals understand your need for caution and respect your verification process. Anyone who gets angry about your security measures is telling you everything you need to know about their intentions. The most important thing to understand is this: your intuition is powerful, but it can be manipulated. Your logical mind, armed with the right knowledge and procedures, is your best defense. Trust the process you've set up for yourself, not the emotions someone else is trying to create in you. By recognizing these patterns and implementing these protections, you're not just defending yourself, you're making yourself a harder target, which means scammers will move on to easier victims. You're not being paranoid, you're being prepared. And in a world where financial predators are becoming more sophisticated every day, preparation isn't just smart. It's essential.